All right. Boolean operators. These are great to use when you're doing a search. Okay. Boolean operators define a relationship between words or groups of words and are used to create a search filter. There are three Boolean operators: and, or, and not. Okay. You can see them right here. So this is just to show you what happens when you use these filters, okay? Maybe you're just searching for eagles, okay? So you enter that in, you press enter, and Google brings up 130 million results. That's a lot of results, all right? So you say, okay, I'm going to use the Boolean operator and try and narrow down my results a little bit. So I'm going to search for eagles and birds. Okay, this is my Boolean operator I'm using, and Google returns 21,200,000 results. So we've cut out like 110 million results. Okay, the reason why is that you're telling it, I don't just want to see results that have the word eagles in it. I want to see the results that have the word eagles and birds. Okay, so that's narrowing your search results. Okay, maybe you want to look up for eagles or birds. Well, what do you think is going to happen? The search results here are enormous, 628 million. You're telling Google or your search engine that you want it to pull up anything that has the word eagles in it, or anything that has the word birds in it. Okay? That's a huge amount of websites that's going to be pulled up. Okay? So you're saying either or will be fine for me. And it says, okay, great, let's bring you 600 million results. Okay, so you say, all right, this is working. I need to narrow my results again. I don't want to hear anything about Philadelphia Eagles football team. I only want to get eagles in my results. So you're going to say eagles, not football. Okay, you're using the Boolean operator not, so you're narrowing your search results. This brings us down to 57 million. Okay, so looks like eagles and birds, if that's what they're searching for, is their best bet using the and. Okay, that brings back the fewest amount of results. And sometimes that's a good thing, because do you really think you're going to have time to go through 57,500,000 websites? You probably aren't going to have the time, and you probably don't want to. Okay, so try using these sometimes, and you'll see if you capitalize them, that tends to give the signal to Google that you're using a Boolean operator. Okay. So how we hear all the talk, especially after last year's elections, about fake news. Okay, fake news happens all the time. Fake news is not new. It just so happens that, well, it's all over the internet. Okay, if you think I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, maybe. All right. I just think you have to, take everything with a grain of salt. So, how do we evaluate the credibility of information found on the web? You can only do so much, to tell you the truth. The fact is that everything comes with bias, so you're going to have to know that right off the bat. But you can find things that, at least are hopefully not completely made up, like the whole Pizzagate thing. All right. The internet is full of user-generated content. And what this is content written by everyday users. So people such as ourselves who get online and add content. Okay. Blogs, websites, wikis, social media sites. These are all examples of user-generated content. So it's really important to know what's credible and how to evaluate the information that you find. So first of all, it's important to not believe everything that you read, okay, or that you hear. It doesn't just apply to the internet. There's lots of different things to consider. You could start off by looking at the URL. Okay, check that URL out. Check out the top-level domain. Okay, go to the home page. Go to the About Us page. Read that and determine if there are conflicts of interest or an obvious bias. Other than the bias that is just within all of us and comes out whether we try to, keep it out of our writing or not, it somehow still creeps in. Okay, you want to avoid obvious bias. Okay, stick with well-known sources for important information. So if you're looking up something about cancer, okay, go to WebMD. That is a legitimate site. Go to the American Cancer Society website. Those are good, credible websites. Okay, if you're doing some sort of scholarly research, first of all, before I say Google Scholar, use the library's database that they have. They have several different databases, and they're packed full of peer-reviewed journals and articles, and very legitimate, okay? If you don't want to do that, you can use Google Scholar, and it pulls up a lot of the same papers, okay? So you get some good information that way. You might want to consider how up-to-date the website is. Okay, I know, like I said, I need to pay attention to dates. I'm talking about technology. It's constantly new information. So I have to check the dates. Sometimes I'll be reading something and think, this sounds a little outdated. I scroll down to the bottom of the website, and usually you're going to find a date there. And sometimes it's going to say maybe 2013, okay? And that's telling you, hey, the last time anyone paid any attention to this website was 2013. Or you might find a really old one and it says, copyright 1998 to 2000 or something. So pay attention to that stuff. It's all important. Design of the website, I've included it because your book, she includes it. But the truth is that it's very easy to come up with a sophisticated website. It's easy to pay someone to create a sophisticated website for you. You can easily use a template. But if it looks like total crap, you probably know that maybe you don't want to use that in your research paper, okay? As far as grammar and spelling errors, you don't want to see a tremendous amount of those. I get very disappointed reading any news articles now that are packed full of spelling errors, especially. I think they try to get news out so quickly that they don't really pay attention to this stuff anymore, and I think it's important still. And then does the information match other sites? Okay. If it's something that totally contradicts what every single other website is saying, well, it might not be exactly legitimate. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. The Onion, America's finest news source. Looks beautiful. It's a great website. Okay. But if you don't know about The Onion and how it's total satire, then you're going to have some problems, okay? If you really try and, ask a man with a Russian accent trying to convince you to go to an ecstasy party, if you want to read that column, well, if you're then going to bring it to school and talk about it, it might not be in your best interest to do so. So that's why I'm saying sophistication, grammar, spelling, they don't always necessarily mean that, yes, that's the truth. Okay. Communicating and sharing information. Okay, this is social networking. That's what it's all about. We use the web to communicate and share information among our friends, our family, strangers even. Social networking services like Facebook and Twitter are widely popular because they provide fun ways for users to communicate with their friends through wall posts, chats, tagged images, and tweets. And I know there's so many more, but I just decided to include those two. In the business community, professionals often engage in in-person networking to locate and fill open job positions, as well as to find clients. So today, networking is also happening online. Like, it's not just all in person. Okay? Professional, business-oriented online networks like LinkedIn are helpful for members seeking a potential client, business opportunities, jobs, or even job candidates. Like a true business network, these sites can help you meet other professionals through the people that you know. So you can actually get requests for job interviews through if you have a LinkedIn account set up. If you don't, I'm going to include it as a lab, I think, because I think it's important to have this set up. It's good for you to have some sort of online appearance. Like, you need to be there somewhere. And maybe LinkedIn is what you like. If you try to avoid social media, LinkedIn might be perfect for you. It's all business, finding stuff as far as your career goes, people you would like to talk to about different research ideas, things like that. So LinkedIn is great. Oh, and also business communities, of course, use social networking for marketing and communicating directly with their customers. And we call that social media marketing. So when these types of sites became popular, there was a big concern over privacy issues, especially for school-age kids who put all their personal information on their pages without considering the possibility of that information being misused, whether by a stalker or identity theft or some pervert. Okay, so all these concerns still exist, but a lot of the main popular social networking sites have improved their privacy policies. Okay, thereby reducing but really not eliminating such concerns. So, don't put everything out there. Hopefully you know this. If not, this is important information for you. Keep your personal information personal. Okay? Know who your friends are. Don't just accept every friend request you get or every follow request or anything. Okay? Yeah, it's nice to meet people online and become friends, things like that, but you don't need to accept every single person, okay? Be careful when you're posting images, because you never know when it's going to come back to bite you in the behind. Okay? A lot of employers and colleges use social networks as a means of obtaining information about potential applicants before granting an interview or extending a job offer. So they're vetting you, in other words. They are Googling you, okay? There's been tons of instances of people being fired from their jobs, being expelled from school for using social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and blogs, in a questionable way. All right? Be careful what you tweet. So this young lady, she posted this tweet, excuse the language, before she was supposed to start her job at a pizza place the very next day. Okay. Obviously, she was not excited about this job. And the pizza place somehow discovered her tweet, and she got fired before she even started the job. So people replied to her. Okay, of course she has to say, everyone says it sucks working there, that's why I'm not mad. But, well, surprise, surprise, she probably didn't think when she was putting that little tweet up that she was going to be fired before even getting there. This is from a few years ago. The APS superintendent decided to tweet about one of his co-workers, something about her being a cow, I believe, and he said it was meant to be funny. He had his Twitter completely open to the public, so of course he didn't last long in his position either. And do I really need to say the name here? Okay, if anyone needs to be careful what they're tweeting, it would be this guy. These are tweets from, 2000, I don't know if it's the first Obama election or the second, but, look at what he's talking about. Okay? He lost the popular vote, won the election, we should have a revolution. The phony electoral college made a laughingstock out of our nation. Okay, sounds a little bit familiar to me, but that's for a different class. So all this is called your digital footprint, and what it is all the information that someone could find out about you by searching the web. Once something has been posted online, it is pretty much impossible to get rid of it. Okay, so make sure you develop your own brand, that it's a good brand, and that anything that's publicly viewable fits that brand for you. If you have any questions, please post them in a discussion post. All right, and that's the end of Chapter 7. Bye, guys.